Yo, what's poppin' guys, Sizzyl here, and this is going to be a quick demo on how I make my Team Fortress 2 look so nice, right? How I do custom animations, lighting, whatever, like how I just make things look the way that they look in any of the videos and stuff that I make. I'll try to keep this stuff in the description up to date. Yeah, you can see we have our usual intro at the start. Ignore the flickering, that's just a OBS recording thing when I record in desktop mode. You can also see it's cropped off at the top a little bit, that's just because how I'm recording it, but otherwise, right, this is stock TF2, you can see our little thing. If anyone was online at 2 in the morning, you'd see people online there. We got our loadouts. Loadouts are completely normal, kind of as is, nothing crazy there. We hop into a casual game real quick, you'll see that it's all just completely standard, completely stock, completely normal, and that I have a fresh install TF2 here. Alright, so here we are loading the Koth King, and just like that. Alright, everything's normal. This is the stock HUD. Everything about this game is default. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. But it's worth noting. The only exception is my crosshair is different because that saves on Steam and I couldn't be bothered resetting it, but pretty much everything should be mostly default, and I'll be showing you how I change it to look like this, and I'll go transition, show off what my game looks like most of the time in comparison. Alright, so with that kind of little demo out of the way, showing that everything is completely stock, I'm going to be showing how I do everything, how I set everything up from scratch. Do note that this is going to be a Linux-based tutorial because I use Linux, I don't use Windows, but following along with this on Windows should be really easy. It's not like a super hard thing to understand. But yeah, first things first, the first thing we want to actually do is grab Python. If you're on Linux, you probably already have this, but just in case, you can get it as well. If you're on Windows, you just want to go to the download, and then hit download Python, and then run the exe file and it'll install Python for you. From there, what we're going to have to get is Cueki's Preloader, and there'll be a guide on the GitHub. I'll have this all linked in the description. Everything I'm about to show off is linked in the description of this video. But yeah, on that page, there's a link right here, and that'll bring you to the website for it, where you can get a tutorial. And there's a Windows tutorial right here on how to set all up on Windows, and on Linux, it's a little bit different. You can see we have a few commands right here that we have to go paste into our terminal. So I'm going to go over to my downloads folder, open a console, and just like that, we have our console open. We're going to go copy this command over, right, so the git clone preloader. We are then going to cd into preloader, and then to run, all we have to do is go into the scripts folder, or just do this, and run sh. And if you have Python and do this run sh, it should actually do everything completely fine for you. Alright, so it'll go through different requirements, install stuff it needs if it needs it, and then you'll have it asking where your TF directory is. So we can hit auto detect and try to run that. I'm going to show how to do it manually just because auto detect, especially on Linux, doesn't work most of the time, but it's pretty easy to find where this is. First things first, you want to go onto Steam, right-click TF2, go to Properties, go to Installed Files, and you can see it'll pop up with your stuff, so you can see the full path. So in my case, it's MNT, Extra, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Team Fortress 2. So I'm going to go make my way over there in the selector here, so I'm going to hit Browse, and it didn't start me in Mount, so I'm going to go back to the home thing. Alright, so Mount. So here I am in the little browse menu, making my way over there. Go to Common, then Team Fortress 2, and it wants the TF folder. So we're going to open on that, and there we go. It says valid source mod directory detected, and we're going to go hit finish setup. If you want Cueki's Preloader extra mods, you can download that. In my case, I don't use them, so we're just going to hit finish setup and let that be that. And there we go. Alright, so everything is now ready, and we'll get back to this later after we go install all the mods and I show you how to do all that. But this is step one. You want to make sure that this is up and running and able to run just fine. What I also like to do is actually drag this to somewhere where I won't accidentally delete it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go copy that over to my Documents folder. And you can see now it's my Documents folder, and if I ever want to run it, you just have to go into Scripts here, open a console in here, and do .-run.sh. And then it'll go open up on Linux. On Windows, like I said, follow the tutorial that's on the GitHub. Also, even if you're on Linux, you should probably do that just in case the steps change, but for the most part, they should probably stay about the same. And you can see it runs just like normal, already with our setup and everything. Now, step 2, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be grabbing all the different mods I like to use in TF2. There's quite a number of them. The first one, and most important one in my opinion, is Mastercomfig from config.app. Now, Mastercomfig is so important because it's kind of like the Optifine of TF2. Basically gives you a lot of FPS while making the game look the exact same. And all we have to do to go set it up is go click the app button. And from here, we'll have a different number of presets right here. And you can pick between them which one you want. In my case, I like using medium with a few different kind of customizations down here. I think a lot of people would be happy with high because that has outlines on, it have your ragdolls, you can see like rain and stuff. In my case, medium's completely fine with me. It's what I'm used to kind of looking at, it feels right to see. And then low is if you're on a really low-end system. I've been on those low-end systems. It's very, very nice to have a low master config on there. It gives you a crazy performance boost. I've had like really shitty laptops that I've run TF2 on where having a low master config literally brought me from like 20 FPS to like 80. And that's a really, really big difference. In my case, like I said though, I hit medium and then we go down to the customization down here. I set that model quality to medium in case it isn't already. Sometimes defaults to high depending on how they update it, but yeah. Model quality to medium. Everything else here kind of as default as is. Shading as is. Bong shading as is. Shadows as is. Effects as is. Tracer effects as is. Water I actually set to high. Because water is this weird bug where when you're underwater and your settings are lower than high, you basically can't see anything outside of the water. So if you were in the water looking up at that engineer right there, you literally wouldn't see him if you're on medium or lower settings. Right? So in my case, I use high water because of that. It's the lowest you can have it while that actually still works. Post-processing, I use the recommended one. I think it makes the crit particles and stuff bigger, which is kind of neat. Pyrovision, I just turned to low, I guess. Yeah, I normally like turning that off. There's a thing later to just turn it off, and I'd use that. There's roam vision, whatever that is. Motion blur, keep off. Anti-aliasing, all that, keep like normal. Characters, I keep to medium. I don't really have a reason to change that. It's worth noting, if you have it like very low and stuff, it straight up like removes their eyeballs and stuff, which is kind of crazy. General decals, I like having as high as I can. I like seeing a lot of bullet holes and stuff, so you can see, right, we go from like a few bullets to more bullets to more bullets. I just like having as much as possible pretty much with Ultra. Same with model decals, it's basically the same thing, but on boxes and stuff instead of walls. Do note, these do give you performance hit. I can actually take it though, because my computer's really beefy, so I'm able to have this stuff. I just like the look and stuff of medium. And yeah, map decals I keep on. Spray decals I turn on, not to keep or custom, just on. Gibbs, you have a few options here, so kind of how people explode. You'd see like every individual body part here versus just kind of like a few here. I normally keep it on low, if I remember correctly. Silly Gibbs, I keep on automatic. For props, you have a few different options. Low is the default for medium. I actually turn it to high because I like seeing the few extra details, like this extra little grass and stuff here. You can turn it to ultra if you want to see the full 9 yards, but I think for most people, low or high is completely reasonable, so I like going with high. We have ragdolls, you have high, where you can see, you know, the head get chopped off, versus here, the whole body just kind of falls. That's how I like seeing my ragdolls, or just off, where people disappear when they die. In my case, medium's my go-to. I don't use 3D side. I use force on for jiggle bones, because no matter how low my FPS are, I still want to see my shit jiggling around. It's always really fun. Everything here I leave defaults, and ropes, sure, low, whatever. FPS cap, I change this myself later, so don't bother with it here. VSync I keep off, player model I keep on. Everything else here I believe I leave as is. And outlines I set to medium, I think. Or is it high? Okay, so ultra is like absolutely everything turned on. I think what I use is medium most of the time, where I can see all like stickies, I can see the payload and stuff. But I don't see like absolutely all my teammates and stuff all the time, because I really don't need that information most of the time, so medium's good enough for me. And then yeah, everything else I leave as its default. When we go to add-ons here, we got quite a few different add-ons we can add. So we do no Pyroland, I do flat mouse, and then I like leaving tutorial on. I don't really care if it's there or not. And beyond that, that's pretty much everything I use there. And we're just going to hit download Mastercomfig, and that'll give us that. And you can see it's nice and downloaded. There's also down here some launch options that they recommend. And these are good for most people. I actually have my own set later that I use, which doesn't have no HLTV because I play competitive TF2 sometimes. And if you play competitive TF2, you need to have this enabled. But all these other settings are pretty useful. No vid skips the intro video for you. No joy and no Steam controller disable it looking for controllers connected to your PC, which gives you a little bit of a performance boost. And I completely forgot what Particles 1 did, honestly, but does something. Either way, we now have that. Then we want to go and grab my HUD. Like I said, this will all be linked in the description. All you have to do is go to the releases section and grab SizzylHUD.zip, or you could even grab it from here and then just name it, which is another way to do it, because SizzylHUD.zip here has a few other things. You can see better kill icons, loading screen, no post-game pop-up. So it gives you a few extra other mods that I've added on top of just my HUD. But if you want just the HUD, you want to hit code and then download zip. And I'll just name this one like downloaded zip, just so you can see which one is different. And I'm actually going to grab proper SizzylHUD.zip because that's the one that I actually use. From here, we have a few different mods that we have to grab from Game Banana. First off, altered projectile trails from Skeleton Hotel. Like I said, linked in the description. We're going to go download that. Right, so make sure you get the most recent one. It's this newest version. Hit manual download and download. And that'll download. Then also Altered Healing FX by Skeleton Hotel. Same thing here. Manual download and download. Just like that. Then also Altered Fire FX from Skeleton Hotel. I do like a lot of his kind of particles and stuff. He does a really good job with that. So I'm going to hit manual download and download. Make sure you get the latest version always. Some of these have it out of order, so it's worth double checking that you're downloading the right stuff. Altered Explosions and Building FX has some really nice explosions and some, cow manglers and stuff. So we can go scroll down there and then hit manual download and download yet again. Then we have Altered Jump Trails and Air Blast Deflects, which gives you this nice trailing effect on Soldier when he rocket jumps. It does also add this double jump for Scout and stuff. So I can't remember if I keep this enabled or not. I have to check once I have it installed to make sure that I like having it like that. Because most of the time I just want the rocket jump trail. So if it adds that in, I might turn that off in the future. I'm not sure if I do or don't at the moment. Hit download on that. Then we have the Ultimate Definitive Toon Particle Pack, which is a combination of quite a number of cartoon particle pack stuff. Alright, so Skeleton Hotel, GHYTD, Insomniac, Chaot Fanatic, and all that. Just have it all in one, and hit manual download, and download, just like that. And next up, we have the Kylul Soldier Animation Pack. I have most of Kylul's animation packs, because he just frankly does most things correct. There's two different characters that I don't use his stuff on, though, and I'll show you them when we get there. We have his Medic Animation Pack, we're going to download that as well. We have his Engineer Animation Pack, so we're going to go download that as well. We're going to keep going. Grab his Demo Animation Pack, and these are animation replacements for each character. You can download whichever ones you want or don't want. I mean, part of why I'm showing this is that if you have your own animation packs or stuff you want to use, you know exactly how to download it and set it up. The Spy Animation Pack, like right here, you can see it's out of order. So make sure you grab that latest version and not the older versions. And hit download on that. Boom. Keep it going. We have the Scout Animation Pack, manual download, and download. Just like that. I'm going to keep going. Quite a few more left. We have this Pyro Animation Pack, and manual download, and download. Just like that. The Heavy Animation Pack is from Pesos. He frankly did it better than Kylo in my opinion, so I use his stuff instead. Oh, I was on the wrong link. So this is the one you actually want to grab. This is the proper link to it. You want to go grab the download for that. Just like that. Boom. Then the Sniper Animation Overhaul is also from Pesos yet again. We're going to go download that. So those are the two characters, Sniper and Heavy. I think Pesos' animations are better. We have the Pistol Enhancement Pack, and this is mainly to fix reloads and stuff, so I didn't really show this off before. But the Lugermore, for example, if anyone actually has that, which is now easier to get because they re-released Poker Night, so it's actually easier to get again. But when you reload in-game right now, the Lugermorph doesn't have this magazine on the left for whatever reason. It used to have it when it first came out, and some update like 10 years ago broke it, and it's just remained broken to this day, where if I boot up TF2 right now, you would see you would literally have nothing in his hand. You would just shove his hand in the gun, you'd magically have more bullets. So it's a very minor fix that just kind of adds that back in. It mainly fixes the Lugermorph, which is why I get it, but it also adds in some nice fixes for other pistols and stuff as well. So yeah, we're gonna go hit the download on the main file, just like that. Enhance pistol, .7z from 6 years ago. You can see there's a bunch of different options here for different compatibilities and stuff, but we don't really need any of those. And then Kaisus's Scout Animation Pistol Enhancement Patch by Emily Embers. Literally just a patch that you drag on top of the other stuff that makes that work with the Scout animations. And yeah, that's all the different downloads. I know it's quite a number of things to download, I know, but that is all you have to download, and then you can just save this on like a flash drive or something somewhere so that you can get it later, or put it in a Google Drive or something so that you don't accidentally delete it once you do this all. Next thing we have to do is go into our downloads folder and extract all of it. So we have all of our different things here. I'm going to go extract them one by one and pull out the files that I actually need. So we have the tune pack, so we're going to extract that, open that up. And you can see this is the Ultimate Definitive Tune Pack. What you have to do is rename this to be lowercase with underscores, like however you want to name it. You can name it whatever you want. But I just do Tune Pack, just like that. I'm going to grab that. We're going to actually make a folder in the downloads folder called mods. You can see I actually have my current mods folder up on the left already, but we're going to be remaking that. So we have Tune Pack right in there, and now we can go delete our Tune Pack. And I'm going to be showing this because some of these have more than one version, and I use a very particular version. We have the Sniper Overhaul. We go into there. I'm going to rename this to Pesos Sniper Overhaul. Wow, I can't type. Going to drag that into that mods folder, and then delete that. I'm going one by one so I don't accidentally delete stuff I didn't want to delete. Then we're going to grab... We're going to leave Mastercomfig and SizzylHUD for now, and I'm just going to do all the different animation mods and stuff, because those are installed differently. We're going to grab the Spy Animation Pack, go into there, Spy Animation Pack, and grab the normal one. So let's see, Spy Overhaul V1.1, you have to change that to an underscore, it'll break. And I like just crediting, you know, who I got it from, so I do Kylul Spy Overhaul V11. I'm going to take that out, put that in our mods folder, boom. Delete that. And the Soldier Animation Pack. And this one is already named correctly. You can see version 1_2. When you use the dots and stuff, it doesn't work with the way that we're going to load them in with the Cueki preloader. So you have to rename them. Make sure they're all renamed. Okay, Medic Animations. Medic Overhaul V1. That works fine. And it's all like properly already crediting him, which is cool. Then the Engineer Overhaul. You can see we have a lot of different options here. I just used the very, very normal one right here. And we just rename that. Kylul NG Overhaul V1. And you put that in our mods. Go delete that. Then Kylul Demo Overhaul. I'm going to go and grab that. And yet again here, make sure you get rid of that period. So instead of V1.1, it's 1_1. And we're going to go paste that into our mods. Like that. And then we can go delete that. Then the Scout animations from Kylul. And we're going to name that Kylul Scout Animations V1. Perfect. Drag that in our mods folder. And then delete all that. Then the Pyro Overhaul. Go to there. Rename that however you want to rename it. So Kylul Pyro Animations V1. Perfect. Drag that in our mods folder. And we have Jump Deflects Hotfix, which is the Skeleton Hotel, Skeleton Jump Trail Deflect. I might delete this one in the future. I'll let you know in the description if I don't or do use this anymore. Because I love the rocket jump effect, but I hate the Scout double jump being as visible as it is. So I'll see if that's in there. If it makes the scout double jump so really obnoxious, I won't use this. Otherwise, I will. We have the heavy animation overhaul. We're going to grab the 70 plus FOV, because that's what I use. And then just use the normal one. Alright, so we got Pesos, heavy, animations, V311, because that's what he named it. Boom, put that in there. And delete that. And we have enhanced pistols. And we're just going to grab enhanced pistol normal. And just grab that. And put that in the mods folder. And then delete everything there. Alt projectile trails. So this is from Skeleton Hotel. So we're going to do skeleton projectile trails. Beautiful. We're at that. Put that in our mods folder. And then go delete these. Then we have altered heal effects, also from Skeleton Hotel. So we're going to do skeleton heal effects. And go grab that in. And then delete that. They have the fire effects from Skeleton Hotel. I'm going to put that in. Skeleton fire effects. Beautiful. We're going to take that, put that in our mods folder. Delete that. And then we have altered explosions and build effects. So we have building effects only, explosions only. I'm just going to use both. I think he kind of did a good job with them. So skeleton, explode, building. I'm just going to call it that. Because I don't know what else to call that. It's close enough. Like I said, it doesn't matter what you name these. These are just what I am renaming them right now. And then I don't know what this one is. I'm assuming it's... Oh, it's the pistol patch. Okay. So we do Kylul, pistol, enhancement, scout patch. Big name, but it's a big name on the original mod. And yeah, we can go delete all that. Did I delete that? Okay, there we go. And we can see we have all of our different mods in this mods folder right here. And I'm going to go drag these all over to that documents folder as well with everything else for future use. Alright, so we've dragged them all over to the mods folder. We have our scripts thing here, and we'll set that up in a second. Before we go actually install those mods with Cueki's Preloader, we need to go use Mastercomfig and everything. So we're going to go, we can delete this now that I've moved that over. Move that mods folder to somewhere that you're not accidentally going to delete it, because if you ever delete the stuff, you won't be able to do it again. But yeah, so first off, if you just want to use normal SizzylHUD and you don't want all of my custom loading screens and stuff, which you get from here, or not from here, from here, this comes with the kill icons, load screen, post-game pop-ups, and a few other random small mods I got permission to add in. If you don't want all of that, you want to download the zip like we did earlier with that little green code button, and then from there, just go in until you see SizzylHUD main, and then rename that to SizzylHUD, all lowercase, and then you'll just want to copy that. In my case, I want the loading screen mod and everything, so I'm actually going to grab the normal SizzylHUD, which is just this one right here from the releases tab. And you can see it's already in the proper folder, because you can see when you go into it, they have CFG and everything. And we have that folder, and we want to also get our Mastercomfig folder. Double click that, go into there, you can see it has a TF folder, and I'm going to be showing you where we paste all that. So I'm going to minimize this now, because we shouldn't need that anymore. And you can see here's what's going to be in the description. This is all going to be in the description. What's important about that is you'll have this autoexec.cfg thing to put in overrides. We're going to actually grab all of this down here, which you'll have to grab from the description. Copy that, then go into here, then to TF2 overrides. And you can see there's module CFG. We're actually going to copy and paste to make a second one, and then renamed this to autoexec.cfg. And open that up. You can see we have a few things in there. We just want to replace that all with everything from the description after that line saying put everything in autoexec. So grab all this, paste that in, and save. You can see what everything is in here, right? So it's enable closed captions, stack damage numbers. This is setting your FOV. Up here you can see the max FPS commands. You should set it to your monitor's hertz rate. If you don't know what that is, you should probably look it up, but if you really don't want to be bothered, it's probably 60, which is the highest FPS that you can actually see on your monitor. I have a 144 Hz monitor right now, so I set the FPS max to 144 just to match that, because 145 or 146 FPS or anything higher than that, I can't even visually see on my monitor, so there's no point in going higher. You can see stuff like enabling sprays, so if you don't want to enable sprays, you have to go like change all this or delete all this, and then turn that off. You have stuff like hit sounds, kill sounds, whatever. MVM health bars, spectator health. This is setting the volume right here, so if you're wondering why every time you reboot the game, the volume is back to the same level, it's because I set it with this command right here. So if you want to change the volume level, you're going to have to go into this file and actually change the number. It goes from 0 to 1. I normally have it at 0.12. This is my crosshair settings, a bunch of other stuff. It all says what it all is, so you can go look through all this. I have my kill bind, unbinding the inventory open button. I unbind my scroll wheel, which I know a lot of people probably don't like. Change how voice chat sounds a little bit. Turn off jiggle bones on 20 FPS. So a few different options here, but the main thing we also have to grab while we're in here, now that we have this in our CFG override folder, is the launch options right here. So if you want those extra launch options from Mastercomfig's website, go add those in, but we need all of this, including the exec.w.config line right here. That's what actually lets us use custom animations and stuff in the future, so we need to make sure we have at least that exec.w.config line. These other things are all things that I have in my launch options, and I forgot why at this point. But yeah, we want to go back to Steam now, right-click, Properties, and then right here, where it says Select Launch Options, just paste right there, and have it all right there. And now what we have to go do is drag this all into our Team Fortress 2 folder. So we're going to go back to Steam yet again, right-click TF2, Properties, Installed Files, and Browse. And you can see it brought us straight to our Team Fortress 2 folder. We're going to go first to Mastercomfig, where it has that TF folder, and you can either drag it in, or just cut, and then paste, and then hit merge on anything, or replace on anything that wants to be replaced. And just like that, all of our Mastercomfig stuff will be set up. Then SizzylHUD, you just want to grab that SizzylHUD folder, then go into TF, then Custom, and paste it right in there, and that'll set up the HUD and loading screens and stuff if you have that all enabled. And from there, we can just boot the game, and you'll see the HUD, but we won't have our custom animations yet. We'll do those custom animations in a second. First, you want to try playing the game here to make sure that you did everything correctly, that everything actually loads that is supposed to load at this point, which at this point is pretty much just the custom HUD. Mastercomfig will also load, but it won't immediately be nice and visible. But yeah, pretty normal on Linux to see this TF Linux is not responding. You can either hit wait repeatedly or literally just wait there and do nothing, and your computer will still load the game properly. But you can see now we have the custom HUD, where we have the toggleable friends list, we have the console button here, items here, shop there, options, advanced options. You have the few extra settings I added down here, like demo UI for comp players to load demos, VR toggle, which fixes when that shield is floating in front of you. If you ever have invisible players on your screen, sometimes that's a bug TF2 has in multiplayer. You click this, it fixes it. If you have issues with your sound, where you hear a looping sound non-stop, click that and that fixes it as well. And yeah, just absolutely nice, beautiful loadout screen here. We can quickly go between the classes on the left. It's just nice. It's just nice. We go into a game, and you'll see that we have the custom HUD, but not the custom animations and particle trails and stuff. So I'll go cut to when I actually find one of those, or just find one right now. That is just actually unreal. The TF2 servers went into maintenance in the middle of this recording. That's just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so the TF2 servers are in maintenance right now, which means if I go to find a game, we can't actually find one, right? It says please try it again in a few minutes, so I'll show that off in a second. But if we go to, like, I don't know, create our own server, if we go join a community server real quick, we can still see all the same different stuff. So I'm just gonna go make a server, just like that. And you can see we have a animated loading screen. I say you could see that, but it's not actually animated yet. But every now and then this animates, sometimes it won't, especially hosting a single player server. But joining a multiplayer one, yeah, you'll see this nice little scrolling animation that just started. Looks really beautiful. I love it. I forgot who made it at this point. It's somewhere in the SizzylHUD, like README or whatever. If you want to go find that. We can see when we load in, we have a semi-transparent load screen, so we can see what's happening, but we can still read all the information about the map. You can also see we have keybinds, so we can press Q to go back, E to go forward. It's really, really nice. We're on Cold Front. You can see little stuff about Cold Front. It still shows little movie and everything like normal. And now if we go into a team, we have our animated loading screen where every single character has a nice little animation as they load in. You can press E at any point on this loadout screen to go directly to their loadout thing. If the loadout servers were actually available, you'd be able to use that nice and easy. And yeah, you can see everything is nice, it's beautiful, but we're still very much using the stock animations, right? Rockets shoot the same, they look the same, our reload looks the same, although the HUD is nice and updated to what I use, and you can see our chat's on the top left. If there was a kill feed, you'd see that on the top right. If you have a kill streak item, you'll see it on the bottom left, right? Stuff like that, just making my game look as it does, but the reloads and everything look normal, and we're going to go change how that all works real quick. So the way to fix that is really, really simple. We actually kind of showed off earlier. We have to just go to that casual preload folder from before, open console, and .-run.sh, and it'll go do what it has to do, and it'll load up. And from here, turn simple mode to off, and then you just want to go to that mods folder and just drag everything directly on top of it here, and it'll go extract everything, including the mods and particles, and you can see it'll successfully process everything. If it didn't process everything properly, it's probably because you didn't use underscores, or it's not lowercase or something, and it'll tell you which one of those it is. And from here, we have a bunch of different add-ons. We can go turn that all on. So you'll get some warnings about stuff overriding each other, and that's fine. The only thing worth noting is you need the Pistol Enhancement Scout patch to be the last thing loaded, so make sure that's number 11. And that'll fix Scouts and Engineer. We have to do that for Enhanced Pistol as well. So make sure those are the last ones loaded, last ones on the list, just like that. And as long as you have that, that will be fine. That'll absolutely work with all the different animations. And now for the particles, it's a little bit annoying how you have to go select everything here, but I think I have it down to close to a science. So first off, I start by enabling everything in the tune pack, then I turn off anything related to blood. I don't like the cartoony blood, I like TF2's normal blood effects and whatnot. So I turn off blood impact and blood trail. Then projectile trails, I turn those all on, and then for explosions and buildings, we turn that on. For fire, we turn that on. For heal effects, we turn not that on. All we have to do from there is go to medic gun beam, and then turn that on. I think that's all I have to do for that. And then for jump trail deflect, we just have to select on that. And the only other thing we have to do is go to that fire section where it's fire effects, and then I turn off burning player because it's really, really, really obnoxiously, like, burns way too much. It's way, way, way too visible. But otherwise, you can see, like, that's the flare gun, that's the flamethrower. Class FX, I think, is stuff like burning effects, like for unusuals and for maps and stuff. And I leave that all kind of as is as well. And yeah, that should be kind of everything we do there. Like I said, I might not use the jump trail deflect thing there. I'm going to go check right now if it's actually something I want to go use. Under settings, we can do stuff like turn off enable TF2 console and startup. I just don't need to see that. If you're having issues with this, make sure you keep this on, because then it'll print into the console any issues you're having, and you can go to Cueki's Discord and go ask them there how to fix stuff, because I'm not going to know the answer for that. It'll also notify you whenever there's an update or change the launch options or whatever. But yeah, we're going to turn off enable TF2 console and startup because I don't need to see that every single time, and then just hit install. And it'll go install this all into your TF2 in a way that when the game loads, you'll have all your files. The only thing of note with this is every single time TF2 gets an update, so you can see it's asking you to put that exec line in. We already did that, so I'm going to hit don't show again. But every time TF2 gets a new update, so every time that, you know, you have, I don't even know when the last one was, so March 11th? So small updates normally don't do it, so it's normally big updates like winter and stuff. But for stuff like winter updates and Halloween updates and whatever, you actually have to redo the script step specifically. So you have to do the run sh and then hit the install button. If you keep a dedicated folder that has the casual preloader and one that always has the mods, it should just always work. Like, you know, Valve doesn't really seem to care that people do this. It's pretty out there. A lot of people have this stuff installed and use it all the time. A bunch of YouTubers as well. I don't remember the name of any of them off the top of my head, but I know a lot of YouTubers use custom animations and particle effects, and this is one of the best ways to load all that. So the first time you load up, it might do stuff like this, where I have to spam the not responding thing like a bunch. And you can see it up here, it says Q state and stuff like that. It'll be a little bit weird the first time you ever load it. And you can see it's kind of tweaking out a little. That happens the first time you load after you hit that install button. But then if we back out and reboot, it'll be completely normal again. It also seems like the item servers are back up, so we can actually go into casual, and I can show off the particle effects and everything working in casual. So you can see there's our nice animated load screen. You can see it loads right away when you're actually doing multiplayer, which I normally am. I just had to go in the single player because the item servers went offline just in the 5 seconds I was recording this. But there we are, right? We're loading into our map. You can see everything about Freight. You can see we're spectating people as we're going to pick our character, you know, whatever we want to do. If I go into Soldier, you can see we have our nice explosions, our nice kind of projectile trails, everything about that. There's that guy. You can see the nice little rocket thing trailing his feet. I actually want to see if I can see the scout double jump thing. See, that seems excessive. Like, I might want to turn this off just because if I'm fighting a scout and I see this giant thing of smoke come out from under his feet, that might be too much. I probably want to turn that off. But if we go into, like, medic real quick, and we go heal someone, or find someone to heal. Oh, here's another medic. You can see there's now a little icon over the person I'm healing. I love having that. That's what that medic beam, medic effect thing did for us, which for medic is super useful. I wish TF2 had this by default. Because normally if I'm, you know, there's a crowd of 4 people, I barely know who I'm healing. Like, I have to kind of guess. You can see the nice fire effects on that pyro. You can see every nice little bit of animations. You can see the Pompson trail from the engineer using that Pompson out there. And yeah, everything is just as it should be, as it is. You can see the stuff on the bottom left saying people are hurt and all that in different colors based on the class. When we're on Demo Man or anyone, we can go press escape, we can go turn on the VR mode at any point. Now we can see we're in VR mode. It's actually really fun and heavy to that VR mode, because you can see your body and your minigun takes up less of your screen, which looks really nice. You can see with the cartoon effects there. I meant to switch to my sandwich, but I didn't do it in time, and he did. But yeah, we can turn off VR mode at any point, just a single click there. And everything just works. It works, it's nice, it's functional, and there's really not much more to say in that regard. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns in the comments below, and if I happen to see it at the right time, I'll try to respond to it, I guess, if I know the answer, but chances are I probably won't know the answer, and you'll either have to go to whoever made the mod, or whoever kind of did whatever. So like if you have an issue with the preloader, you probably have to go to the Discord server for it. It's somewhere on their GitHub or whatever. They can give you help there. This is just a guide on how I do it all and how I did it all. It should hopefully work for most of you. And yeah, have fun playing the game. I know I sure do. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.